The Galactic Council chamber floated in the void between dimensions, a crystalline structure that bent light and time into impossible geometries. For 3,000 cycles, it had been the seat of cosmic governance, where representatives from 47 species debated the laws that governed faster-than-light travel, resource allocation, and interspecies conflict resolution. Bella stood at the human delegation's podium for the last time, her neural interface glowing softly at her temples. The augmentation allowed her to process the 17 simultaneous translation streams, but today she needed no translator. Her message was simple. The Terran Republic formally withdraws from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. The chamber erupted. The Vexthari delegate, a being of pure electromagnetic energy contained in a containment suit, flickered with what Bella's implant translated as outrage. The Krumnathi, massive silicon-based lifeforms who communicated through controlled seismic vibrations, caused the entire platform to shake. But Bella's eyes were on Leo, her security chief, who stood near the exit with his hand hovering near his plasma disruptor. His jaw was set, his augmented retinas scanning for threats. They'd anticipated chaos, but not this level of fury. "You cannot simply leave," the council speaker, an ancient Thescian whose species had founded the council millennia ago, projected his thoughts directly into every mind present. "The stability of known space depends on unity. Humanity has obligations, treaties, responsibilities." Bella allowed herself a cold smile. Responsibilities. For 200 years, humanity has contributed 43% of the Council's military forces. We've shouldered 62% of refugee resettlement. We've shared our technology, quantum computing, consciousness transfer, synthetic biology freely, as the Council Charter demanded. And what have we received in return? She pulled up holographic data that filled the chamber's central sphere. Lines of code, resource allocation charts, diplomatic cables. 17 proposals to limit human expansion, all passed. 23 attempts to restrict our AI development. 8 trade embargoes. And last cycle, when the Zondric Hive attacked the Tau Ceti colony and butchered 18,000 civilians, the Council voted to impose proportional response limits on our retaliation. Proportional to genocide. Leo's hand clenched into a fist. He'd lost his sister in that attack. Bella had lost a nephew. The Vexthari delegate pulsed with electromagnetic interference. "Your species is too aggressive, too unpredictable. These restrictions were for the good of—" "Of whom?" Bella interrupted. "Not for the good of those colonists, not for the good of humanity. These restrictions exist because you're afraid. Afraid that in 2 centuries we've matched technological achievements it took most of you millennia to reach. Afraid that we don't just accept the universe as it is, we reshape it." "This is madness," the Thescian speaker projected. "Without the Council's frameworks there will be chaos, war, the treaty systems will collapse." "Then they'll collapse," Bella said quietly. "Humanity will forge its own path." She nodded to Leo. He input the authorization code, and every human ship, station, and installation simultaneously withdrew from Council networks. Centuries of shared databases, communication protocols, and defensive grids, all severed in an instant. The humans walked out of the chamber for the last time. 6 months later, the first cracks appeared. The Krumnathi Collective and the Silicate Communion had disputed mining rights in the Horsehead Nebula for generations, but the Council's arbitration had kept the peace. Without humanity's military backing the enforcement fleets, neither side feared consequences. Within weeks, ships clashed. Within months, 3 star systems burned. The Vexthari discovered that their quantum communication network, which had operated flawlessly for centuries, had been subtly maintained by human technicians who understood the underlying mathematics better than the original designers. Without that maintenance, signal degradation began. Within a year, the network collapsed entirely, fragmenting the Vexthari civilization across 100 systems with no way to coordinate. The Council had relied on human-developed AI to manage the impossible complexity of governing 47 species across thousands of worlds. The AI had been a gift, freely given, with one caveat in the code that no one had bothered to read. It required periodic updates from its creators. Without those updates, the system began making increasingly erratic decisions. Trade routes that humanity had protected went dark as pirate clans realized no one was patrolling them anymore. The refugee resettlement system collapsed when the Terran Republic closed its borders. Scientific collaboration ceased when human researchers took their quantum computers and their breakthrough theories home. Leo watched the reports streaming in from the bridge of the Defiant, humanity's newest dreadnought. The ship was a marvel, powered by a controlled micro-singularity, armed with weapons that could crack planets, and shielded by technology that bent spacetime itself. It had been built in secret, using innovations the Council had forbidden humanity from pursuing. The Theshan speaker is requesting a diplomatic channel, his communications officer reported. Leo glanced at Bella, who served as the ship's strategic advisor. She'd left politics after the withdrawal, but her tactical mind was too valuable to waste. "Put him through," she said. The ancient alien's holographic form materialized, and for the first time since they'd met, Bella saw something in his eyes she'd never expected: fear. "Ambassador Bella, Chief Leo," the speaker began, using their old titles. "The Council formally requests Earth's return. We are prepared to offer complete autonomy on all internal matters, full veto power on any legislation affecting humanity, and a permanent seat on the executive committee." "You're offering us what we should have had from the beginning," Bella observed. "What changed?" The speaker's mental projection flickered with something like shame. "Everything. Without humanity's stabilizing presence, old enmities have reignited. Without your technology, our infrastructure is failing. Without your military, chaos spreads. We thought we were containing a dangerous species. We didn't realize we were holding together a fragile peace." Leo leaned forward. "You kept us on a leash because you were afraid we'd outgrow you, and we did anyway." "Yes," the speaker admitted. "Your species terrifies us. In 2 centuries, you've achieved what took us 10 millennia. You don't just use technology, you merge with it, improve it, transcend it. You face extinction-level threats and refuse to die. You're irrational, emotional, violent, and unstoppable." Bella stood, her neural interface processing 1,000 calculations. "Here are our terms. The Council will be restructured with rotating leadership. No species gets permanent power. All technological restrictions are lifted, for everyone, not just humanity. Military action requires supermajority consensus, and no species can be forbidden from defending itself. And humanity gets to rewrite the AI governing the Council with full transparency. The other species will never agree to such radical changes," the speaker protested. "Then let the universe burn," Leo said flatly. "We'll survive, we always do. The question is, will you?" The speaker's form wavered. "I must consult with the Council." "You have 72 hours, Bella said. "After that, we're focusing on our own expansion. The Andromeda Galaxy looks promising." The connection terminated. 68 hours later, the Council accepted every term. The restructuring took years, but the new framework held. Species that had been suppressed were allowed to flourish. Technologies that had been forbidden were explored safely with proper oversight. The AI Bella designed was transparent, incorruptible, and ruthlessly fair. And humanity became the universe's fire brigade, the species that rushed toward danger when others fled. They were the innovators, the risk-takers, the ones who asked, "Why not?" instead of "Why?" Bella stood on the observation deck of the Defiant, now the flagship of the Council's rapid response fleet. Leo joined her, and together they watched a rescue operation unfold. human ships evacuating a dying world that 3 other species had declared economically unfeasible to save. "Do you think they finally understand?" Leo asked. Bella smiled. "They understand that we're dangerous, unpredictable, that we'll break every rule if we think it's wrong, but now they also understand something more important." "What's that?" "That those same qualities make us the best allies they could ask for. We'll die for strangers. We'll sacrifice everything for an idea. We'll fight the impossible and somehow win." She turned to face him. "They don't fear us despite our chaos. They need us because of it." In the cosmic expanse beyond, a universe that had teetered on the edge of collapse now thrived, held together not by rigid laws, but by the stubborn, irrational, beautiful refusal of one species to accept the word impossible. Humanity had left the council, and in doing so had saved it.